And the thing that we always like to highlight on these podcasts is, the business owners who their heart for the community too. And that's one of the things that I've always, since I've known you, looked up to you on is how much you give back. Like how many hours you put in serving with the homeless, serving with the youth, just the way that you invest in our community. Is a testament to your heart and your desire to make a difference. And excited to learn more, kind of like what's motivated you and what's brought you to this point and what's that journey been like.
Yeah.
So
You know, when I really think about it, I have had the atypical experience relative to a lot of my friends, a lot of my peers. I mean, I was lucky enough to start with a company back in 1987, and I'm still here in a different capacity. But I've never jumped ship. I never drifted away from the industry. I've always been in insurance. And I think about it a lot. It's like, how come I have friends and family who've just gone on to do a variety of different things? And when I tell my customers this a lot, and I tell a lot of people who are maybe thinking about getting into the industry, I'm in a magical industry and a magical position with a great company where I get to use money to make problems go away. Now, I can't change a personal disaster and tragedy, but I can certainly do my best to use money to make financial unexpected events and help people recover from that with a checkbook. I mean, how many people get to do that? And so I get to write checks for a living. And maybe that's an oversimplification of what I do, but it's given me a mindset to be able to serve people and really be committed to helping them out when they need us most.
That's amazing. If I could drill a little bit deeper in your origin story, most 15 and 16-year-old kids don't imagine themselves necessarily being attracted and going into the insurance industry. So when you talk to many insurance professionals, they have their own origin story and their own reason why and how they ended up there. So could you share a little bit more about yours?
Yeah. I don't believe in just dumb luck, Dom. Nothing happens just, out of the blue for no reason. And a good friend of mine from Sac State, I graduated in economics at Sac State. And back then, we had like 12 people in a class because no one wanted to be an econ major. We're just weird folks. But my friend Candace told me about an opening with a company. And I thought, well, I never really thought about that. In fact, I never thought about that. And it just turned out to be a great career path. And the more I learned about it, the more interested I got. And, at a very young age, I learned people skills. When I was born in Oakland. I grew up a handful of my early years in Richmond, and I think our house was burglarized for the third or fourth time. And I still have vivid memories of coming home from the movies with my parents and them saying, don't touch anything until the police get here and can dust for prints. And by the time the umpteenth burglary occurred, the pendulum swung, and my parents moved us to Sonoma County, in Petaluma, where the only Asian families, there are probably a handful of them, they were all egg farmers living out in the other side of town. So I had to learn how to be a chameleon of sorts and get along with people at a very early age and kind of meld in when I didn't really fit. And I think that serves you well in insurance because you never know who you're going to meet. That's one of the greatest joys of my job is I get to meet millionaires and I get to meet people who may be a millionaire someday but are having trouble paying their bill every month.